And we're live. Hola Madridistas. Hope you're as excited as us to be back from the international break and to just to get started and watch Real Madrid games. And I can see like a partial phase of excitement from Farooq. How are you doing, man?
Man, honestly, it is good to be back. Honestly, like it's been a weekend and a midweek of just people playing games that you actually have no interest in. At least for me, I could not find any motivation, any interest to pick myself up to watch the games. Honestly, so yeah, man, it is good to be back. Honestly, to be back to doing what we do and supporting a team that we love.
Well, speaking of it, like we didn't go to the international break all happy, right? Do you feel like the international break was a good break for us, for the team as well, for the fans, everyone, even for the manager?
I mean, depends on what angle you approach it at. It's a point to get away from all of it, but then it's a very the best antidote to a defeat is it's the next game you win. You understand? So it's been how many days? I think it's been 10, 12 days since that. So it's been a long time to to deliberate on that loss. So you keep wondering, what if we would have done this? What if we have done this? On the other hand, as well, it's just a time to take a break and just take a step back away from all of it and come back a refreshed man and just look towards the future. And now at least for me, my mindset is just like, okay, we are not playing the league anymore. We're just playing the Champions League and the Copa del Rey. You know, so I just have a fresh slate. It's just the season is just beginning all over again. And it's business time, honestly. And I want to believe that our players will be able to find a way to remotivate themselves for this final stretch of the season.
Well, speaking of motivation, Farooq, did you catch any of the players' Instagrams? So Benzema posted a picture of Goku exercising, so he's gonna turn into Super Saiyan in the next few games. Yeah, even
Karim
Rudy.
Benzema. So
Yeah, man.
I mean, that's the thing, man. Like, at this point in time, I don't really, need to know what they're doing behind the scenes, and like thereof, I just need them to show up on the pitch and deliver some things because the point is, uh, whatever you do behind the scenes or what is not, it's only on the pitch that we get to see if it's actually, I mean, I don't want if that's the case, and let's go and find players like Adama Traore, then they will have all the muscles and all the speed and everything, but there is no end product to that. So we look forward to seeing them on the pitch back to themselves and and at least I personally I really have no qualms with Karim Benzema because uh, what everyone has been saying before the international break about Benzema, I just feel like uh, any I don't know. I just feel like any sane fan who saw Benzema last season and was expecting him to replicate the same thing this season. I mean, I don't know, man. I just feel like the team has failed. Not Karim Benzema. Obviously, his form has dropped, but that's just the thing. Only Messi and Cristiano could have maintained what Benzema had done last year. You understand? So there is nothing there. It's just that it is what it is, unfortunately. But to me, like this is what I expected. Okay, maybe a bit more than this, but like to be honest, like I think the team as a whole has failed, not just the drop in form of Karim Benzema. So I expect the team, to step up and at least provide him with things because we expect him to make magic out of everything. So yeah, let's look forward to that, honestly.
Yeah, man. With Benzema, especially, I feel like the international break came at the right time because he was missing training every now and then. He was even looking half fit for the games. So
Yep, yep,
this must have been like a really good time for him.
yeah,
Uh,
exactly.
the rest of the team as well, like a lot of them did leave for international break, but then Rudiger did stay back, Nacho did stay back, I guess. Or did Nacho go to Spain?
No, no, Nacho went to Spain.
Nacho did stay back.
Nacho was, as I read from the reports, Nacho was the deep lying playmaker. He was, he channeled his inner Bonucci, and he was doing things that we didn't see that part at Real Madrid actually.
Yeah, well, he hasn't been given that chance. At least, hopefully, he can replicate this run of form with Spain as well.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like speaking of Spain, like I think one thing that has been trending in the subreddit has been the tearing to shreds of Carvajal by Kian Tierney, in the Scotland game. I mean, I don't know if I would say that has been blown out of proportion, but I feel like I don't. I just want to actually do you think we disrespect Carvajal a lot? I don't know. Like, do you think we? I mean, the point is we criticize him. You understand? But do you think that criticism is no longer just criticism and it's now becoming more of a disrespect? I don't know. What's your take on that?
I mean, what do the fans? What else can the fans do? Like, we've been asking for a backup fullback, at least for a backup fullback, a right back for ages now, and then all we have is like a slow Carvajal. We know he can't play every game. Like, he is just not that player anymore, and it's just fans venting their frustrations at every single opportunity that they get. As soon as he gets beat, like the fans are on him. So it's like the frustration is just getting taken out on him, and it is just the board's fault, not Carvajal's.
Oh, I mean, that's a valid point, honestly. The lack of competition and the lack of someone will say, oh, there's Odriozola and Lucas Vasquez, but I mean, Odriozola is just he's playing something else right now. He's not playing football because I don't know what he's doing. And the other option, Lucas Vasquez, was always a winger before he was converted into a fullback. So that's not even an option. So yeah, I mean, you're right actually. So there are options. There have been options. They've been talking about several options, and which will lead me to the discussion I think we had before with you. I was hearing that Real Madrid actually monitoring the situation with Chris James, given that Chelsea has to balance the books, considering what the I don't know what to call it, but the flamboyant spending by the new owner of Chelsea. So like they need to balance the book and what is and what is not. And I think at Chelsea right now there is no more enticing, player to sell than Chris James himself. Do you think there is a possibility there?
We've been asking and hoping for this a bunch of times, right? Even when we choose any hypothetical situation, we always go for Reece James when we choose our ideal fullback to come to Real Madrid. But honestly, I don't know, man. I even saw a rumor that Kai Havertz was on the radar for Real Madrid, but then it's all
Yeah,
rumors at this point still.
it just it's all extends to what I said, like because the point is that Chelsea needs to back up what's it called, that they need to balance the paybook. You understand? So they need to balance that payroll. Hence, the players are gonna be dangled on the market. And yeah, maybe dangled might not be the right words, but like I mean, teams will be out there to test Chelsea's result for these players, honestly. So that's why I feel like you see that because we know like before Kai went to Chelsea, like he was strongly linked to us as well before he eventually made the departure. Well, I mean, yeah, it's been interesting. Across the break we've seen different players and also I heard like Camavinga got to play as a defensive midfielder for France as well, which earned him actually rave reviews as well. It was a really good game against the Dutch team, if I'm not mistaken. And yeah, and also on the international break, I think we had a more interesting scenario with the managerial merry-go-round. I think it started with Antonio Conte's amazing rant and ended with Thomas Tuchel being hired at Bayern Munich. So it's been quite interesting. Conte literally sacked himself with that rant. I don't know if you heard the rant or not. Well, I mean, if you haven't heard that rant, just go and listen to it. It's pure comedy. I mean, for a neutral fan, you literally, just keep your pants laughing. Honestly, it's so funny, man. Like, I mean, it was pure comedy. Honestly, like you can
No,
even
but
put it up with one of those satires, man. Honestly.
it's not even surprising to me at this point. Conte has always been that dramatic of a person.
Actually, I do. Why I do agree with you that Conte has always been that dramatic. I don't think we've ever seen anything like this. I think even Pete Mourinho wouldn't have said what Conte said,
Hmm.
honestly, because like Conte went into the bones of people who are in their graves, man. Like he was like, man, that was really brutal, honestly. As I said, like as a neutral fan, it was so comedic, honestly. Like it was so fun. At least for me, it was fun and refreshing. Although what he said, he didn't lie. Like all what he said were the truth. But the thing about it was that Conte didn't take any responsibility for anything. So it's only right that if you're gonna go into the club and question the history, the owners, the mentality, the players, and just throw everyone under the bus except for yourself, I think you know what's coming. So I think most likely Conte was looking for that as well. I don't know, but yeah, it was really, really, as I said, it was funny for a neutral, but for Tottenham fans and their players, like it was a really, really sad thing, honestly.
Yeah.
And then comes the whole Julian Nagelsmann, man. I don't know what happens with how that happens, but they're 1 point behind Borussia Dortmund. They've won all 8 games they've played in the Champions League, and all of a sudden, Nagelsmann is out of a job, and Thomas Tuchel comes in. Can you take me through that? What do you think happened? Like, because we've been seeing totally crazy reports here and there and this and that. I don't know. Did you read any reports or like what's your own personal take on this situation?
I did not read any report, but just for the with the eye test, Bayern are like the team to beat this season. They've looked so good. Even in Bundesliga, they have not slipped on the ball too much. They're right up there, man. And it's just a mind-boggling decision. Like maybe the Bayern board were thinking, hey, Tuchel might not be available for a long time. Like someone like Madrid or someone might snap him up. So maybe that was their reasoning. Like they just didn't want to pass up on someone like Tuchel. But then, like Tony Cruz said, I just got Tony Cruz's comments. He said he was promised a really long project, and it's just a shocker for Tony Cruz and the rest of the fans as well that he was sacked immediately without any explanations. But what are these reports that you were like listening to for?
Actually, I was hearing about some things about the fact that some people were saying that Bayern Munich is a very, very traditional club. So, like, when they come and have a manager who is so young and doesn't, is unable to read the room. When I mean unable to read the room, in the sense that, for example, this guy would show up in the to the training ground on skating boards. This guy will go to, what's it called? Would take motorbikes around the city center, would ride on motorbikes in the city center. This guy would, even after like a loss or a draw or like a bad performance, this guy is a guy who will take a break, go skiing and doing this and that. Also this guy he has a girlfriend who is a reporter from one of the biggest sports papers in Germany, Bild. So like all of these didn't sit well with the Bayern hierarchy, and also according to reports, like it also didn't allow him to gain respect of some of the players in the dressing room as well. So these were some of the factors, and obviously some people were also reporting about the fact that Bayern had always wanted Thomas Tuchel, and the fact that he's available right now on the market, was something that made them, also think about I would say what to do immediately or like thereof. You understand? And as you said, like there was a very huge possibility that in the summer maybe the likes of Tottenham, Paris, Saint-Germain, Real Madrid, and who knows what job will be available. They might come scouring for Tuchel, and it might maybe be more difficult for Bayern to, maybe get him. So yeah, and also there is one thing which I think was it Jan Agafjord that was saying this, or I can't remember who he was saying, but he was saying like Bayern Munich has always been a club that is about their people, and there is no one who antagonizes that idea more than Julian Nagelsmann. He's someone who is not from them, away from the total traditionalness, away from whatever they think. He's someone who goes to the press and just says whatever comes to his mind. And let's not forget, Nagelsmann is 35 years old. You understand? So he's a young and very blunt coach. You understand? So for them, this is totally, because when you go back in the to the previous coaches, you see it was Carlo Ancelotti. It was what's he called? The coach from Kovac. Kovac was a former player. The treble winning coach. I forgot
Yep,
the name of the treble.
Hikens.
Exactly, Hikens. Hikens was a player and a coach of this team. You understand? You go back to even what's the name of? You go to Klinsmann as well. You go back to these people. You look at even the likes of Louis Van Gaal. So like these are traditional names that match the club traditionally. And when you play someone like Nagelsmann, he totally negates and opposes everything that Bayern stands for. But then I just come to think of myself, and I think that, are we in the age right now where people are so sensitive that because the coach comes to the training ground on a skating board, or because he drives around in a motorbike, or because he takes a break, that it's his break? He's not, taking a break during work time. No, it's his break, and he decides to go, ice skating or go to the Alps or whatever because he's dating a journalist. So all of this, it kind of doesn't, meet, I don't know, it just doesn't make any sense to me, honestly. But yeah, I mean, it is what it is. Like Nagelsmann is gone, but one thing I do know is that like I just feel like Bayern made a hasty decision. I hope, and they have to pay the man as well. See, that's the thing; they have to pay him a lot of money as well. So for Nagelsmann, it's a win-win situation. But I don't know what's gonna happen to Nagelsmann. But I was really keen to see, how he was gonna eventually mold that Bayern team. But he hasn't been given the chance. But yeah, man, it is what it is. Anyways, away from that, do you think Nagelsmann will be a good fit for Real?
That's the thing, right? I saw a bunch of posts on Twitter by our fans, by like one of the biggest Madrid fans account also. saying Nagelsmann does this, he has his own private life, he likes to enjoy even when the team loses. So they were saying that is not of a Real Madrid caliber coach. So what fans expect is a coach who is like 100% committed, who's always thinking about Real Madrid, who can't have a life outside of football. So I'm not sure how the reception for him would be in this club, and honestly, like he, I'm not sure about his man management capabilities since he's so young as well. So probably not the right
Honestly,
fit for.
that's the biggest problem I have. Like, I mean, Nagelsmann for me, at least in what I have seen from Leipzig and the small sample size at Bayern Munich as well, he seems like a very astute coach with a lot of ideas. Honestly, that he wants to try and test, which I personally would love to honestly understand to have a coach like that at the helm. But the problem about that, he's 35 years old, same age as Karim Benzema, younger than Luka Modric. You understand? So how is he going to be? And the point is that Nagelsmann hasn't won anything.
Yeah.
He has won just the one Bundesliga. You understand? He hasn't done that much. For example, people want to say, "Oh, but Mourinho went to Chelsea at a young age." When Mourinho went to Chelsea, he was coming back off of winning. Firstly, he won the treble with Porto, which was a small treble with the UEFA Cup, the league, and the Portuguese Cup. And then the preceding season, he won the Champions League as well with Porto, if I'm not mistaken. You understand? So he went there as a winner. He went there as someone who has done shit. But Nagelsmann is coming off of the back of having not won anything and having been sacked for partially losing the dressing room and not fitting the status quo. You
Yeah.
understand? So I feel like he already carries that. I don't want to say bad reputation, but like a bad aura. An aura that can be questioned. So he carries that to the team. So I kind of feel like while I would want Nagelsmann to be a coach sometime, I feel like at this point in time he might not be the right coach for you.
Yeah, exactly. We don't just want a coach who can give us football plays after football plays and tactics. We need someone who can produce great results with the players we have. But anyways, we
Exactly.
have a bunch of comments. Let's go through them one by one. Dennis is in the chat, so is Scott and Sunay. So yeah, Dennis began by saying, "Good evening, Madridistas. Not another week of watching Carvajal a few days ago. I had to watch him play for my country and get cooked by Tierney. Of course, we went through that. And yeah, good to see you, Dennis. And sure, he also says, let's get a 2-1 win on Sunday. He was just tired of seeing La Liga, and the international break was really great. Um, all right. And Sunaid says, fan is back. Hey, Sunaid, good to see you in the chat. Oh, yeah, we didn't talk about the Rodri comments after the Scotland game. Farouk, did you catch any of that? Dennis?
Nah, I didn't.
Okay, so what happened was, in typical fashion, Rodri is just asshole, right? He goes in hard on the ball, he creates atrocious tackles, and after the game, he comes and says that, oh, hey, Scotland didn't deserve to win this game. They didn't deserve to score. We completely dominated. They weren't playing football. They didn't allow us to play football. He was like, bro, he is coming from Atletico. How can he say any things like that? Just because he went to Man City now, he has to watch only that brand of football? What the hell? So yeah,
Uh,
that's
interesting. That's. I mean, well, but then I mean, honestly, like when you check the players from Scotland, they're quite those players that rile you up. It's the likes of the Max Scott McTominay, the Robertson, the Tierney's. Yeah, I think they might have some point, but like Spain has been shit. So like I mean, I wouldn't really pay too much attention to that. And honestly, like uh, Spain losing to Scotland is it's so shameful, and I feel it's it's kind of it tells you the levels that they've dropped, that they're coming out and finding this kind of excuses. Like it's so shameful, honestly.
yeah, man. Oh, Dennis also says, get Kai Havertz out of my club, and the Conte run killed him as well, of course. Okay, hey, Scott. Scott says they knew Tuchel was a better fit at Bayern, so it was a no-brainer.
Yeah,
Mm.
yeah.
Well, Dennis also has an interesting take. He says Nagelsmann is being linked to us, bro. I'd rather keep Ancelotti than getting that fraud. I, w- I mean, I wouldn't call him a fraud yet. I mean, it's just a string. It's just a person that he is right now, right? He can't help it. He's a bit inexperienced for being at the club at this level. But yeah, let's keep Ancelotti, man. Ancelotti is better than all the other options we have.
Ancelotti to Brazil. The Seleção are gonna take him, man.
Yeah. All right. That's it for the comments. Sunair also says, bro, Rodri is a troll. Did City turn him into an elitist motherfucker? Probably, yeah.
Exactly, man. Play what playing for Pep has done, man. They totally forgotten the grassroots, man. They've forgotten how people hack. How people hack it. At the mid-tier football level. But then yeah, it is what it is. Honestly, I mean, Spain should not be complaining about players. I don't know. Should I say taunting them and what is not, honestly, that should not be a complaint, especially after the performance they put in. I feel like they totally were undeserving of the victory against Scotland, honestly. So yeah, it's what it is.
Yeah, man. It's the same thing with Real Madrid, right? We saw similar comments from the players as well whenever we lost against someone like Barcelona. They were like, hey, we played well, we controlled the game. But bro, like you didn't get a shot across, you didn't get a shot on target all game. What the hell are you talking about? That's a similar vibe that I'm getting from the Spain team as well.
Actually, that's the one thing actually I noticed about our team is that the hype has gotten to us. Honestly, Jacob, the hype has gotten to us because last year, you know, we were literally, how can I say it? Like we were underdogs. You understand? Last year, like we had no chance. So like, but this year it's obvious that because I mean we discussed this with you like also about the the the, the 3 episode series that was shot. That was detailed in the last season's. I think Real Madrid Forever or something. Real Madrid. I can't remember the name of it of the stuff. But anyways, like in there you could see the likes of Casemiro. Even the likes of Tony Kroos. They were so blunt and honest. That, oh, we thought we were dead. Oh, I mean Casemiro was saying this like he thought that there was no way they were gonna come back against Paris.
Yeah.
This was what he said, point blank. There was no way we were coming back against Paris. You understand? But now we come and we don't have a single shot on target in the match, and Benzema comes. Ancelotti comes, Modric comes. Like these guys are all coming, and Nacho comes and like, oh, we played so well, we don't deserve to lose. I'm sorry, but I really. So that's the thing. Like when the hype gets to you, like honestly, like unfortunately, this season the hype has gotten to us. Like every single one of them, the hype has gotten
Yeah.
to us. Unfortunately, so like we are no longer able to reflect on that. So I that's the reason why actually I feel like we might lose the Champions League this season because the hype has gotten to us and we have this sense of being invisible right now. Although we
Yeah.
aren't, that's the downside. We aren't invincible, but we think we are invisible. Honestly, so I feel like we have lost that touch of reality. Honestly, the hype has gotten to us really, and I think even this is just encapsulated by the whole, fiasco of not attending the FIFA Best Award. Where the club totally didn't go, to the game in support of Benzema not winning, and we know the post that Benzema made afterwards. So I think it's just all about. I mean, for me, that whole drama actually encapsulates the current state, the current mindset of the players and Ancelotti himself. Like they have let the hype get to their heads, in my opinion. I hope I am totally wrong because I think if they actually have let the hype get to their heads, then I don't see the way we can, the way we can get through the Champions League. Because the thing is that last year we were really hard workers. I mean, when you talk about, the blue collar workers, we were those blue collar workers, honestly.
Yeah.
But this year we became the white collar workers and we just look down on people and think we're better than them. So yeah, man.
Oh wait. I just lost your audio a bit at the end, but it's okay. Say
You
something?
lost my audio?
No, just it was just for a second. That's it's fine. So, anyways, Scott Hyman up like in the topic of managers, do you think that Zidane could come back to Madrid?
Under the same conditions, I don't think so. I think there was a reason he left, right? And the point is that I hope Scott wasn't part of those people, but I could remember very, very well that 70 to 80% of the fan base on at least where I trade, which is on Reddit, were asking for this man to go out.
Yeah.
They were all bashing Zizou. They were bashing. Even the club wasn't defending Zizou. Literally every single press conference, Zizou had to defend himself. Even Perez wasn't backing Zizou. You know, so I think, I mean, if this is the case again, you guys are gonna bring him back, and then you guys are gonna bash him again. I mean, nah, Zizou should stay where he is. I love Zizou to the core, but I mean, we cannot come and just keep disrespecting this man. Nah, honestly, like either the club will decide to totally back him 100%, or nah, let him just stay where he is, man. Like this is. Anyway. Since we're speaking of coaches, then who do you think will be our coach for next year?
My gut still tells me that it's going to be Ancelotti. Like unless we immediately crash out and we have a horrible, horrible performance in the Champions League, I still think it's going to be Ancelotti. But yeah,
Okay, let me
the
let me
names.
put you this scenario.
Okay.
If we get to the Champions League semi-final and win the Copa, do you think Ancelotti stays?
Yeah, he stays.
Okay,
Uh,
if we get to the Champions League semi-final and don't win the Copa, do you think he's?
I still think he stays because we were on the market for Tuchel, right? There were a lot of rumors. I just don't think that we're going to settle for a lower coach. And the names that are being thrown around right now, it's fucking Pochettino. And who else was it? Nagelsmann. No, I just don't want those guys near my club anymore.
I see. I mean, for me, honestly, I'm cool with Poch. I'm cool with the Poch coming to recover. But I don't know, man. Like I'm really cool with the Poch coming, because the point is this. One thing I know is that the Poch has shown that he can build a team. Honestly, like what Spurs are still today is what Poch has built how many years ago? You understand? About 8, 7 years ago. So I do believe that with the gradual easing out of players like Luka Modric, Toni Kroos, Karim Benzema, and the gradual easing in of players like Chouameni, Kamavinga, and so on and so forth. I think someone like Poch has that pedigree. At least he has shown. Okay, if he hasn't won the big teams yet, but he has shown that he has that pedigree of building a team that can compete. At the very top end, especially working with youngsters and also playing progressive football as well. So I think having the resources of Real Madrid will for sure catapult him to winning trophies and while playing good football as well. So I really do. I do think of Poch, honestly. I also want Zidane to come back, but I said like Zidane has to come back under his terms. Like we can't come and he's asking for players, and he's been asked. He's been asked to play with Carvajal and Lucas Vasquez and Ojo Zola. That cannot do it. That cannot he cannot play with like this. Honestly, I mean we've seen the first tenure of Zidane. We had one of the most exciting teams in Europe, if not the most exciting teams. And his second tenure, the man had to make do with what he has. That's why I always say to people, honestly, if people still think today that Zidane is a low-key coach, go and see his second tenure and see how he adapted to what he had at Real Madrid. That tells you that this man knows his shit. Honestly, there is no thing about luck there. He knows his shit.
That team could not be scored against, whatever. Like, if we decided to
Exactly.
shut up shop, like, there was no one that was getting past. It was amazing to see.
Honestly, man. Honestly.
No, but the thing is, like, yeah, just one thing is like the style of play that Zizou brought in that season. It's just a defensive thing that nobody liked as fans. That is why fans were like, get out. And then the other thing is the board, right? Nobody backed him. He didn't get the signings he wanted, even though he was pretty vocal about that as well. And
So
yeah,
that's what I'm saying to you also, Jacob. The point is this: it's the same thing. Let's not forget about the first leg we played in Paris as well. Even the second leg, for parts of the second leg we played against what's it called, against Paris as well in Madrid. We were so defensive. In the first leg, we were so defensive because we couldn't do jack shit.
yeah.
Let's not forget even against City in the first leg, we played a basketball game. You know, so that's the thing. Like that tells you that all of Zidane's, the reason why he became defensive is totally warranted, because this is a team that cannot defend. That
Um,
cannot defend.
yeah. We have a comment from Dennis. He says, Pochettino, are you mad? If we get Pochettino, he will be an Argentine Lopetegui. I'm warning people, bro.
I mean, the point is, it's the same thing. Did you give Lopetegui time? You didn't give Lopetegui time as well. You shot him in the. So that's the thing. Like after Cristiano left, was it easy? Do you think they're gonna just? I mean, we've seen also after Messi left what happened to Barcelona. Before Xavi came in and was able to stabilize things. This is the thing. Like, I mean, I'm not a Lopetegui stan, and I'm not gonna come here and say, oh, this and that. But the point is, like, Lopetegui is not. Honestly, Dennis, I don't know if you agree with me or not, but I think Lopetegui is not someone you can compare in this situation. Lopetegui was given zero chance to do anything. So I mean, how many months did Lopetegui stay at Real
I
Madrid?
think 3 or 4 months max.
So
And it's
I
just
mean,
sad,
what
man. Like
what
he
what are
was
your
fired from
expectations?
his Spain job just for this, and immediately he couldn't go through the World Cup. I just felt sad for Lopetegui at the time.
So that's the thing. What are we expecting? And we saw when he was given time at Sevilla before everything came crashing, he competed with the title against us. He was the closest person, not Barcelona, honestly. Last season, the closest person that came close to knocking us off the top was Lopetegui before he came crashing down to earth and they eventually finished where they finished. But
Yeah,
honestly, like he made a good team. He made a good team.
yeah, man. And we have Javier also. Hi, Javier. He says Solari was the Argentinian Lopetegui.
Nah, man, don't do Santi Solari like this, Javier, man. Don't do Santi Solari like this. You should, I mean, the man took the job when everything was chaos, man, and he did what he could do to at least.
He brought in so many young talent into the like,
Exactly,
spotlight.
exactly. I mean, Santi Solari did what he could do. Like he was just forced onto the whole thing. It was nothing.
Yeah, man. Like it's just that all of our rumors, even transfer rumors, managers, nothing is like solid right now. The club is like in a state of flux. There is no communication. We don't know which players are retiring. We don't know which players are staying. We don't know which of the loanees are coming back as well. So one of the rumors is that Brahmi Diaz is definitely going to return, and then we're not going to sign like a superstar unless like a superstar number nine is going to be available in the summer. We're not going to sign anyone. Alvaro is going to be promoted to the first team. Maybe Arribas will be promoted to the first team. So, what is your take on like the current state of the club and the lack of communication from?
I mean, yeah, obviously they're not gonna come out and tell us that oh, this is what we're gonna do and that's what we're gonna do. They're not gonna say anything. But the thing is that yeah, man, like I mean, if the thing is if they're gonna, I heard that they're gonna bring back what's it called, Brian Diaz, but to sell
Yeah,
him at a higher fee. This is what I heard. Right, they're gonna bring him back and then sell him at a higher fee. And then if the plan is to promote the likes of Arribas and Alvaro, considering what we have seen this season, and if they think that's the solution, then I'm sorry, man, we're in for a very long season next year. For a very, very long season.
and that is the
But
thing,
I want to
right?
believe the club will do this. The
Hmm.
club will look, I mean, even if it's not like big money transfers, I feel like, maybe just some up and coming players in La Liga, here and there, they might look at those guys as well. And yeah, you never can tell, like, there might just be one opportunity that pops up in the market that you never can know. And always, there's a lot of Real Madrid fans' wet dream, which is Jude Bellingham, which I don't share, or by the way. So yeah, you never can tell. Maybe they
Yeah, man.
eventually do.
We know your stance on Bellingham. But Farooq, like the thing is that one is the arrivals and the players who are leaving, but then who do you think is going to retire this season? Are any players retiring?
I actually feel like what's it called? Tony Cross might retire, but I feel like Luka Modric might not retire because he said he's going to play in the Nations League, which is in June. So I'm assuming he's going to stay till next year, which is if he stays till next year, which is Euro 24. Maybe after Euro 24 he calls it a day. So I'm actually thinking about Modric might stay more, but I'm thinking like most likely that Tony Cross might go honestly, especially the fact that you could even see in the class where he was so disappointed by being taken out of the game as well. He was so disappointed, and honestly, you can see that gradual decline from Tony. Like he's still good, like and he can still have his days, but I think we can see that gradual decline from Tony. But I still think he can still do a job right now. But I think because he's a player that prides himself on, he's gonna leave the game at the top of the game. He's gonna be there, just for the sake of being there, before doing something like that. So I think honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if towards the end of the season he decides to call it a day. But I mean, I want to believe that these things should be discussed with the club. Honestly, like this, maybe they've had some internal discussions and they're maybe themselves or something like that. But this has to be discussed, as you said, and communicated. Maybe they don't communicate it with us, but I mean, uh, the club, because you have to plan how to move on with the squad next year. So yeah, but maybe that's why you're hearing about Haribas, man. Maybe they're gonna promote Haribas, to take the spots that Tony Kroos leaves, and Dani Ceballos gets a step up in the team. And I don't know, man. So just
Well, yeah, Farooq, like from the next conversation, like try to speak up a bit more. Feel like you're breaking off a bit, but that's fine. No, but I don't feel like Tony Cruz has like declined. It's just that the things he does really good, it's still at the same top level. He still does passes very well. He still controls the game very well. But it's just that his weaknesses are like have become weaker. His running has become weaker. His positioning has become weaker. He just can't like catch his man. Like we've seen this time and time again. The teams do deploy. I mean, teams do. take that space that he is supposed to cover and then attack that left hand side. We see time and time again. So it's just that his weaknesses are right out there for the team, for everyone to see, but his strengths have still remained the same.
I see.
Anyway,
I see.
so
Well, I mean, you have a point actually, though, as well. Like about the fact that the weaknesses are more glaring. But yeah, as I said, like it is what it is, honestly. So I don't know. Let's just see what. As I said, like I feel like Tony Kroos can still do a job, honestly, especially in a transitional period. If we get a new coach or something like that, players that can help stabilize the ship or what is not. But yeah, if you ask me honestly, who looks most likely to league, I would say Tony Kroos because I feel like Luka Modric might still be eyeing that Euro 24 as as his final sign off.
well, speaking of a player who won't get to play in national football like anytime, is Karim Benzema. Like, do you think we have like a shit season in the next few months? Karim Benzema leaves.
Who do you get to replace Karim Benzema? This is the question.
If Karim Benzema leaves, I feel like the club is gonna splash out big for a like top striker, maybe even Kane. Like it is probably gonna be a panic buy at that point.
I mean, if Kane comes in the place of Karim Benzema, I think we're gonna suffer because of we have built our game to suit Benzema's style. But the point is, but eventually we will come through. You understand? So eventually we will come through. But because the biggest problem we had with what's it called with Cristiano leaving was that there was no one to actually ease that burden.
Yeah.
Because the point is we bought Hazard, but Hazard was injured, so there was no one.
No, the theory was that our midfielders are gonna contribute to all of the goals right now, and then just that just didn't happen, man. That's Have you seen Toni Kroos or Luka Modric like sprint into the box, just delay that run, get at the end of a cross? No, man, that's just not gonna happen.
Okay, okay. If that's what I mean, that's the thing. Like you don't know what the board are thinking, honestly. So you just can't make any comments. But then it is what it is. If that's what they think, then fine, chill. Let's so be it then. So be it. I don't know. Honestly, it's just so weird. But if Benzema leaves, and we can get a player like Kane, I do think like at first, yeah, because I said we build our team around him, we were gonna suffer. But after then, I think we're gonna see. Because
Yeah,
Kane also is no
Kane is
is
like
not.
people underrate his like playmaking ability. Like he's just not a top scorer, just not a goal scorer. He brings people into the game.
Kane is a really really good player. But the thing is, like Kane is also 30, so I don't know. Like, would you want to spend so much money on a 30-year-old just to spend so much money 2 years later on
I
Erling Haaland
mean,
as also?
like Haaland is one thing, but we do have Endrick as well. When is he gonna come?
I mean, for now, let's not count Hendrick, man. Like Hendrick is still 16, 17 years old. So if he comes, it's gonna be similar to what happens with Vinicius and Rodrigo as well. Not until they hit that 20, you wouldn't get anything for them. So like Haaland, we still wouldn't get to see him. Sorry, Hendrick wouldn't most likely, at least in my timeline, we still wouldn't get to see him for at least the next 4 years. So at least to see him properly, perform. Because firstly, he has to come, move into a new country, adapting to the surroundings. That will also take time and then adapting to the teams, moving from Casilla to the first team. So these are all things that will take time actually eventually. So yeah,
Especially for a striker, the transition is going to be much harder than for a winger. Brazilian wingers are like they do the same, like similar things. Wingers just have two types of play. They can either go to the byline, be the creator, or they can cut in and then be the actual bringing people into the game and getting at the end of plays as well. So, but with strikers, there are just so many more tactical elements. It's just going to be much more harder to adapt to European football.
exactly.
But anyways, yeah, I feel
That's the
like
thing.
we've been rambling on and on about managers, about players leaving, coming and going, rumors. One other thing is that, like, before we like start to preview the Valladolid game, Isco is without a club, and he's just 30, man, Farooq. Like, did you expect how Isco's career would turn out this way?
Honestly, honestly. Isco was someone I always loved since that there was, I don't know if you can remember, I think was it in 2013 or in 2012 or 14, I can't remember, within that range when Malaga was owned by this rich Arab guy. But I think it's still owned by him, but then he was pumping a lot of money into the team. we had this fairy tale run into the Champions League quarterfinals, when they eventually lost in a thriller. The game was a thriller against Borussia Dortmund. Actually, it was a basketball game actually. So they actually, since then I actually have been a fan of Isco, since his Malaga days. So like, when he came to Real Madrid, I was so happy. But then he's coming to Real Madrid also coincided with that of James Rodriguez. So there was, a lot of lack of playing time and like what is and what is not. So it was quite, a bit of an unfortunate situation. So I always wanted one person to leave, either James or Isco. Eventually James left, and Isco came to the fore. Let's not forget that 16-17 season, and also the beginning of the 17-18 season, Isco was really unplayable. He was so good, and it shows how much potential was there, how much of that hype that he showed that he was actually worth that hype, honestly. But then later, things started to go sideways for him, and also the attitude issues as well, as which has been well documented. So, I mean, even with all this, I still didn't expect Isco to be at the age of 30 to be clubless, honestly. At this point in time, so in the middle of a football season. Yeah, but I really wish Isco all the best. I hope you back and find his, because I thought he was going to work out for him very well at Sevilla and Lopetegui, because Lopetegui was very high on him even when he first joined Real Madrid. When Lopetegui first joined, he was very keen to use Isco, honestly. But for some reason, even Lopetegui could not, revive the stuff. Who knows, man? I mean, Lopetegui is at Wolves right now, so you never can tell. In the summer, they might take a punt on
Come on,
Isco's game.
Isco
So
in the EPL. Wow, that is gonna be a sight to see.
exactly, man. Exactly.
All right.
Yeah, man. So, in the international break, I heard Courtois was injured. Do you have any news on that?
Really? Well, I didn't hear that.
Yeah, I heard he was injured. He came back to Real Madrid. He came back to Madrid early, actually. But I think it
Oh.
should be nothing serious.
Hmm. Yeah, but then I did see this news as well that Lunin was looking for a new club this next season. So yeah, take of that what you will.
Okay. I mean, it's only logical because Looney knows that, like, someone like Thibaut Courtois, who is just 30, like, this is just the beginning for him. Like, he's going to be there for the next 4 or 5 years. So
Yeah.
it's only right that he tries to, find something for his own career as well. So, yeah, man, I don't have any grudges about that. But then before we move on, let's just address the elephant in the room. So if I'm not mistaken, I read that Marca were reporting that Real Madrid have set a cap of 100 million euros on Bellingham. Is that like? You also read something like that?
No, man, I just don't look at Marca anyways. But 100 million seems low. Like, I don't think we're gonna get him for 100 million. Like,
Well, sorry,
it's
it's not Marca, it's us, I think, right? Or is it Marca? I'm not sure. Either of one of the two has that's news that Real Madrid have set a price limit that they would not go over this for Jude.
I
Yeah,
don't
I
see
mean,
it
as you were saying,
happening,
I
man.
think 100 is low, right? So what do you think?
Even Xiaomani was close to 100, and he's like a more unproven talent than Bellingham. I just don't think at this point of time we are gonna get Bellingham for 100. No way. And Dortmund are not like a club who negotiate easy, man. They just don't let players go. They'll be happy to keep him. Like he's pretty happy there as well.
Yeah, man, that's just the thing, honestly. Like, I mean, then what's been the whole, it's how it's gonna be how many summers now? First it was gonna be you're gonna go for Mbappe, it didn't come, and then again Mbappe again, it didn't come, and now you're also waiting for this guy, and also he's not coming. Although I've always, not been too keen on that, but I mean, I want to believe that the club. I want to not believe that rumor because I think the club is much more smarter than the fact that they're saying that we're going to cap this at 100 million euros, considering the fact that Enzo Fernandez has moved for 180 million euros. Let's not forget even Mikhailo Mudryk has moved for around 100 euros just to
That is
be
just
there.
stupid spending, man. Like that is like not the market norm.
But that's the thing. Like, it's not about what the thing is that, for example, when Neymar moved for 222 million euros, and so that also inflated what Dortmund got for Usman Dembele and what Liverpool got for Philippe Coutinho as well. So like that's whether you like it or not, one way or another. Because the point is, they will say Enzo Fernandez is a player in the mold of Jude Bellingham. They play the same position. You understand? So but our player is more seasoned than Enzo Fernandez. Okay, Enzo Fernandez is a World Cup winner, fine and good, but Jude Bellingham has seen this, done this for how many seasons? You understand? So they're gonna feel like their player is more seasoned, and they will definitely want more money than that. So That's just a thing, honestly.
Yeah, completely agree. Yeah,
It's just it is what it is, honestly. That's it.
cool, man. Yeah, let's get into the Valladolid game. I feel like the last time we previewed Valladolid, we were in a much better state, especially in La Liga. We were still in it. I think we were at that point 6 points or 4 points clear of the. I mean, not clear, like just behind Barcelona. We were still hopeful of making it, but then yeah, the situation is completely different right now. Um, yeah, and things have not improved for Valladolid as well. Like they're just in 16th position. They have just not been able to score goals consistently. They have their own share of problems with injuries and such, suspensions. So yeah, do you see us like getting an easy result against them? Like considering that the players might not be as motivated to perform in La Liga.
I mean, the point right now is that we need to start to get some. We need to start to get some momentum. The thing is, if I'm not mistaken, we've won just against Espanyol and Liverpool. I think in our last 5 or 6 games, like we
And
beat
even
Barcelona.
even the Espanyol game, it wasn't like a cakewalk.
So, so you see, we played Barcelona twice. We lost. We played Atleti. We drew, if I'm not mistaken, right?
So,
And then we played Espanyol and we won, right? So
yep.
and then we played Liverpool and then with the Benzema goal as well. Other than that, I don't think there's anything. So that's the thing. Right now, we need that morale boost. We need that victory. We need that, So I think the thing about lack of motivation is even out of the window right now because the players are totally in need of that boost and they need to, gather the season back together because the point is you don't want to finish the league 18, 20 points behind Barcelona. Like, I mean, that's just shambolic. I mean, that's a recipe for Carlo getting sacked. I mean, finishing the league 20 points behind Barcelona for sure is going to get the card even if we win the Copa. I mean, that's so you want to make the point, respectable and what is not. So I think like even away from the league being lost, like there's a lot of pride to fight for. That we want to get back into that. We want to get back into momentum, because honestly, like although Chelsea are totally out of sorts right now, I mean, if you go to that game out of sorts, you're just Champions League. And let's not forget that this is the Chelsea team that has twice won the Champions League while being the underdog, especially considering when all what's happening around them. So yeah, I think 10th in the Premier League right now or ninth. So for them as well, the
Mm.
route to the Champions League back is only right now winning the Champions League itself. So so like we can just understate that. Although as I said, like they're in really bad shape, but if we don't build up any sort of momentum leading into this game, we might just shoot ourselves in the foot as well. So I think any talk of having been motivated is even out of the window because this is a team with 2 victories in 6 games. So yeah, we need to we need to win this game and the next couple of games to at least get a bit of momentum going.
Yeah, man. I just like okay. There's one talking about that, like especially with Carvajal getting like a lot of flack for his performance in Spain. We were considering getting these guys as right back, even Fresneda. Have you seen him play? Do you rate him highly? Do you think he can be a
Yep.
good backup?
I think Fresneda can be someone who can. But actually, what I think about Fresneda is I think about Fresneda, about this Galacticos rules where you have the Zidans and the Pavons, want to buy a high-profile center fullback, maybe I don't know a Cancelo or wherever it is, and you want to buy a Fresneda who is just 18 years old to support him and swap him in and out, so like he develops without too much pressure, understand? And then similar to the same way Marcelo eventually developed without too much pressure and team and so that's that's the same thing I see. I don't think of Fresneda as someone who's just gonna come and start right away. I feel like he's someone who's gonna stay and challenge the established person and eventually build build on that and win the position for himself. But the question is, who is going to be that established person right now? Is he going to be Carvajal or is he going to be someone else?
With the way how there is no talk about getting a fullback or any fullbacks except for who was that? Who was the left back that you're getting?
The
Uh,
left back?
yeah, the guy from Rayo, I guess. Yeah.
The left back. Oh, so you're talking about the one who's gonna come back, right? Frank
Yeah,
Garcia.
Fran Garcia. Yeah, yeah. Except for Fran Garcia, I'm seeing like no rumors, no talks, nothing. It's just people are trusting in Carvajal. And I don't see us like splashing out. Even when Cancelo was available, like we just didn't go for him. So it's just not going to happen, I feel. And Fresneda, he's not like a world beater. Like he's not going to be a world beater anytime soon.
Exactly.
So like we shouldn't give him like a leeway to develop. Like we should have other options as well. Because Marcelo, even at a young age, we could see his talent. He was potentially going to be the special player. I just don't see that with either Fran Garcia or Fresneda. But they're just good squad players to have, especially when the form of our starters is so sketchy and they're often injured.
Yeah, man. Honestly, to Wood. Wood is a very good player to have. Gradually, let him, grow and develop, to the player that I believe in right now. So yeah, I mean, but throwing him into the deep end might be a problem. But honestly, I think if we can, allow him to gradually, ease him in easily, let him grow by himself, I think really like it's gonna be could be a really good one. Well, as you said, like you're right, he's not a player who's gonna beat, he's not a world beater right now. So he's someone who, with like it is gonna might win his position.
Right. All right. Just I'm just gonna like talk about their formation, how they line up. So they usually play with a 4-3-3, with their CDM being the Cameroonian Hongla, and it's either even Sanchez on the right. But especially when they're looking for a goal, they do switch to 4-2-3-1 with even Sanchez occupying the whole position, which is a position that has not gotten enough cover for us, especially if Toni Kroos plays that position. So, do you think like Choumeni, with all of his strengths and his qualities, do you think he lacks this defensive ability? Have you seen it so far this season?
Tchouameni.
Yeah.
No, man, I think Chouameni is fine. Just Chouameni has been experiencing a deep in form, man. I think honestly, like at the sixth position, I think Chouameni is more than good. Just like, I mean, it's normal. Like he's a young man who's moved to a new country, to the biggest club in the world from AS Monaco. I think he's played the Champions League just once, which was even the qualifying stage is not the Champions League proper. You understand? So I think it's just normal. And let's not forget how good he was at the beginning of the season. So I think it's just right now. It's just he's not completely adapted to the whole thing. And, also nerves get in the way as well. And also the fact that he played a lot of minutes at the World Cup, I also feel like that also is something, to put into consideration. But honestly, like I think right now, while Traumani hasn't been good of recent, like that doesn't cause any cause of alarm, honestly, because I feel like uh, I think even Real Madrid bought him not with the sense that they are expecting immediate return from him because we had Casemiro then, but then the whole United thing happened and Casemiro left, so that actually thrust him more into the limelight. But honestly, I think like Traumani at least for the season, okay, maybe he hasn't exceeded expectations, but he has done okay. But right now, his form is so patchy, and I would say it's going to be difficult to win back his position from Kamavinga right now. Kamavinga has been fine. Kamavinga has been the player for us past couple of games
Yeah,
already.
man. This season, like that is the second half of the season. That's the only highlight. Kamavinga's performances.
Exactly. That because it's going
But
to be
yeah,
quite difficult for Kwame to win back his position from Kama because has taken that next step. Because he my problem has always been that would he be able to make that next step to become that because if you could recall at the beginning of the season whenever he started game he could not finish games, you understand,
mm,
and also
yep.
whenever he started games like he wasn't able to impact the games as much as he could, as much as he does when he comes off the bench. But honestly the second half of the season like he's taken that to a whole next level and he's becoming almost undroppable honestly. So I think Romania has a job on his hand to see back that position
Especially with the return of Mendy, like we can't just play Kamavinga at left back anymore.
for
Um,
him.
so yeah, it is
That's
going to
true.
be Choumany's position to win back. Anyways, it is at this point of the season, right, where these relegation-threatened teams they start to really get their shit together, try to claw back wins. That is what worries me, Farooq. Like whenever we face the team that is really passionate, that presses high, that is like going for the ball, very passionate, we always struggle against them. especially in La Liga. We just have no answer for them. And they're languishing at 16th. They just got promoted last season, so they might not want to go back immediately. That's going to be bad news for them. They are going to lose all of their new signings. All their young players are going to leave. In order to protect against that, I'm pretty sure they're going to put out a strong lineup. Even if they are not planning to get a win, they're pretty much going to hold out for a draw. So,
Exactly.
do you think do we have like an alternate plan to face these kind of teams who employ low blocks?
An alternate plan?
Yeah, it's just that stuff hasn't been working, man. Like, what would you change?
I mean, that's been the in with Real Madrid. What's even the first plan? We don't have a first plan because of having a second plan, man.
The
That's the
first
thing with
plan,
Carlo and Real Madrid. What's the first plan? The first plan is just cross and inshallah, man. But the point now is not we're not crossing. We're just giving the ball to Benzema and Vinicius and hoping for magic.
not even Benzema, we're just giving it to Vinicius.
Okay, at least for this season, we are giving it to Vinicius. But for last season, we were just giving him to two of them and hoping for magic to happen. So there is no even first plan. So you just have to wait, for a player to give a moment of individual magic. If it's not Benzema, it's Vinicius. If it's not that, Rodrigo comes off the bench. If it's not that, you throw in, last year we were throwing in Camavinga, but this year we are throwing in the trickery of Dani Ceballos. So if not that, then we throw in Alvaro and just keep pinging the ball in the box and hope that one of them sticks. So that's it. Like if the plan one is Benzema, if it doesn't work, it's okay. If the plan one is Vinicius, if it doesn't work, it's then the alternative plan is Benzema. If it doesn't work, throw on Rodrigo. If it doesn't work, put on Dani Ceballos. If it doesn't work, then throw in the ball in the 18 and hope that Alvaro jumps and hits one in the back of the post. But I'm sorry, I've always said this. Like Carlo he's a coach I respect a lot, honestly. But I just think at this point in time, at least from what I've seen from last year to now, there is no plan. I mean, if you talk about a tactical plan, I don't think any of that exists. We just do and we play hero ball and we just move on. We win and we play hero ball and we move on. We play hero ball and we move on. So the question is
No,
just, I mean, I will actually rephrase your question to you. The question will be who will be the hero of the day. So that's the question you should be asking. So honestly, about a plan, though, I don't think we have any plan. At least
I
this is what I think.
I think with Carlo, like just speaking about him, the difference this season has been that. So if you notice last season, when things were starting to go a bit bad at the end of November, I guess he completely switched the type of style of play. He brought back the short, tried and tested things that used to work for him, and he switched around players' positions. He moved around Vinicius and Benzema a lot. He completely channeled all the play through them. Until then, like we seemed to try different things, it just didn't work out. But this season, like even when things are not working out, we're just not like reflecting on matches. He just resting on his laurels and saying, "Hey, like we controlled this period of the game, so yeah, things will improve automatically." That's his.
Jacob, just give me 2 3 minutes to throw something at you.
Okay.
So this season, Real Madrid are gonna finish either 1 or 2 points away from the total points they have last year. They're gonna score the similar number of goals. They're gonna lose a similar number of matches. They're gonna draw a similar number of matches. So which means that whatever Carlo did last season, he didn't stop doing that. He's still doing that. But what's happened right now is that you remained at the same level, which was actually not a very good level. But what happened was that your opposition improved. Barcelona, they stopped conceding goals and they started scoring more goals. So they came and they are now 12 points ahead of you. So this idea that something was working last season that it's not working this season, no. This was exactly what happened last season. We're gonna go with the same amount of victories, similar amount of losses, similar amount of draws. We're gonna end up with the same amount of points, plus or minus two. So what happened last season is what should be repeated this season, Jacob. There is nothing that worked last year that didn't work this year. It
No,
is the
but
same thing.
how
The
is it
point is
possible
that
for
the
that?
opposition improved, but you are at the same level. In the Champions League, we've been playing hero ball. Honestly, Liverpool always really like even under Zidane, under anyone, Liverpool is the ideal team for Real Madrid to play because they press so high that one ball from Tony Kroos, we're gone. Even at Liverpool's peak, this is it. Even at Liverpool's peak, one ball from Tony Kroos, we are gone. So Liverpool is the ideal opponent for us to play. You get the point. But
I do
honestly,
get the
Jacob,
point, but that fact seems like mind-boggling to me. It's just that our okay, let's just take the thing of Vinicius and Benzema. That they haven't been scoring as much as last season. Like, how
mhm.
are we like with the same goal tally as last season? Who is scoring the
Rodrigo
goals
is
for him?
scoring now. Fede Valverde has scored more than 10 goals.
That is that, yeah. Fede's early like burst in the season was like a game changer for him.
Rodrigo is scoring now. Rodrigo is scoring now. So,
Fair.
so this is the point. This is the point I am saying to you right now. Okay, Benzema's level has dropped. I agree, but the point is, I am not here. Like, I am not gonna be that person that will say, "Oh, Benzema was this last year. He should be." No, because I know that since I watch football, only Ronaldo and Messi have been able to withstand this kind of level of football. No single player have been able to maintain this level of football. None. So I knew that he was going to drop back to the median level. Okay, I agree that right now he is below that. But the point is that below that he is at, Fede Valverde has covered that with his goals. Now Rodrigo is scoring as well. Asensio scores when once in a while. So these are the things there. Honestly, these are the things. It's there. Like, you can go. I mean, honestly, like, it's so. I mean, that's just the thing. Like, I keep saying this. Like, it comes back like, oh, you're a fan of, he's a purist, he's this and he's that. Honestly, we're just playing Euro ball. We are not playing anything. Xavi comes and he's doing the most basic thing in the history of football, which is just defend, and he's 12 points ahead of us.
Defense
Honestly, that
wins
is.
your titles. Yeah. No, but okay.
And I actually made this. I made this comment before. I said that honestly, what Carlo has done is similar to what Zidane did in his last. In the second to last year, right? Or rather, yeah, was it in the last year we won the league, or the second to last year we won?
Second to last year.
I think we won the league in the last year. Now we won the league in the last year.
The second to last year was it that point where we lost by 16 points?
No, we lost by 1 point to Atleti. No, there was a time when Suarez was. There was a peak Suarez.
Yeah.
I mean, there was. I mean, let's just quickly confirm that. I remember, like, there was that Suarez who wanted to revenge against Barcelona.
Yeah.
And then we lost on the last day by, I think, 1 point or 2 points, and even like there was a point in the game where we were winning and Atleti were losing, and Suarez just came out of nowhere and he scored one, and all of a sudden Atleti won the game.
Almost like that Aguero-like moment.
Exactly.
I remember that.
So that's what I said. Like, and in there, he lost, I think, to Man City, and yeah, actually, yeah, that's it. Like, it's the year we lost by that point. We lost by 2 points. That was the year I'm talking about. We lost by 2 points to Atletico, and then we lost in the Champions League, I think, to Man City, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
So what I'm saying is that it's very similar. You understand? But what's the difference with that and this was that Zizou did not have peak Benzema. Carlo had peak Benzema. You understand? So when people complain about that, let's not forget we had a lot of hero ball last year in the Champions League. And I'm saying this again, we're going to finish with the same amount of points as last year. Almost same amount of goals scored, same amount of victories, same amount of losses, same amount of draws. So what was being done last year is being repeated this year. The team is doing its job. Ancelotti has done his job. But the point is that this job wasn't even good enough in the first place.
Okay.
Honestly, you understand? But then this is the thing, like, we just always sit down and, but last year we were this. No. Let's sit down and analyze what happened last year, what's happening this year. Xavi came and defended, and he's winning the league by 12 points. And even to make things worse, we started to believe our hype. And now, even then, we can't even win that UCL that we used to win. I mean, we used to believe our hype because we had Ronaldo and Marcelo and Ramos and those guys. And for sure, like, I mean, those guys, no one was better than
the
them.
golden noodle had Ronaldo, yeah.
Exactly. No one was better than those guys. What can you do? You understand? But the point is, right now, we have a lot of people who are better than our people. That's just the truth, whether you like it or not. So, as I said, like, really, it's not like what was working last year is not working this year. It is working. It is totally working. The same thing. But the point is that in the first place, you weren't even good enough. Honestly. I do hope we end up winning the Champions League this year, but I kind of find it difficult to see that, honestly. Because we're going to play Bayern Munich and Erling Haaland, and the way, like, our defense is, unless Thibaut Courtois decides that, okay, today is one of those days again, and he's going to put everything out, but the point is we're going to play 2 legs. against either Bayern Munich or Man City.
It's gonna be hard.
So it's choose
Like
your poison. That's even if we get past Chelsea and Graham Potter, I believe we should be able to get past that. But it's looking bleak, man. Honestly.
it's looking bleak in all the competition. Like, do you see us getting past this Barcelona with like a 1 goal deficit? No, man. There is no way.
I mean, this is the thing. Like, it's a cup, man. Honestly, anything can happen. It's just a single tie. Because the point is that I really want to believe that the players will approach this as a final. I want to believe so. I don't know if they will or they will not. But it's just a one single game, honestly. And I do believe that we are better than Barcelona, honestly. I believe that we are better than Barcelona, honestly. So I think that we should be able to get past them. Okay, the defense is outrageous, it's outstanding. The defense is nothing short of a miracle, like it's historic. Credits where it's due, you understand? But I think we're better than this Barcelona, honestly. But what I'm saying to you is that for that, I think we should be able to get past. Honestly, I still have a lot of hope for the Copa. Honestly, that's where all my hope actually resides right now. Because as I said to you, honestly, I don't think I am better than Bayern or Man City. Maybe we might have some players who are better than Man City's, because I feel this year Man City is not a team, but the machine they possess in Haaland.
Hmm.
And I always say this honestly, like last year when Sony was saying get Haaland, I was like, nah, we have Benz. But man, after seeing what Haaland is doing, like week in, because I wasn't watching him week in, week out then, but now that I'm seeing him week in, week out, honestly, that thing gives me the EVGBs, man. I mean, that man is a machine. Honestly, that man is a robot. So him playing
Yeah.
against Rudiger and Militao and Alaba, I mean, nah, no man. And Bayern right now are the best team left in the Champions League as a team performing as a single unit. They are the best team left in the Champions League. Honestly,
Yeah.
so it's just it's a matter of pick your poison. Honestly, so that's why I said like I don't see that much of a that much of a chance. Honestly, but as I said, first things first, we need to get past Chelsea because I think if we don't get past Chelsea, Ancelotti is fired 100% away. That's the point.
Hmm.
If there is ever a Chelsea to get past, this is the Chelsea. This is the Chelsea, honestly. But again, as I also said as well, Chelsea tenth in the Premier League. All their eggs are in this basket because this is the only thing they can win, and this is the only way they can get back in the Champions League as well. So
Yeah.
we shouldn't just underrate that as well. But
Yeah.
anyways, this is the end of my TED talk. Thank you for listening.
The best. That was a good pep talk. I didn't realize that we were at the same point as last season. Like that is mind-boggling to me. I just couldn't get my head around like with Vinny and like Benzema not clicking. I thought we were definitely going to be like way behind. But yeah, that's like surprising to me. Anyways, Dennis also says, "I'm just worried about Chelsea. Don't sleep on Chelsea, people." He also says, "I won't say there is no way if it was La Liga, but this is a cup. Anything can happen." And he does say, like, even if we win the Copa del Rey and not win the UCL, I won't celebrate. I only celebrate leagues or UCLs, like proper fans should.
My man, I'm falling in love with Dennis bit by bit, man. He is the man, honestly. We don't celebrate the Copa. Why would we celebrate the Copa? Yeah? Well, I mean, that's the thing. Even if we win the Copa, I think Carlos still goes because
Yeah.
the club as well will not consider it as something. But we need something to drink, water, or for those who drink beer, we need something to drink beer with. So Copa del Rey would have been a bad one.
Nice. And yeah, we have Ashik in the chat as well. He says, I am back, baby. We are back as well, Ashik, after a long, long international break.
Yeah, man.
So yeah, I guess that's it. Like it remains to be seen how which version of Real Madrid will turn up. If it's going to be like a complete different outlook for the team for the Valladolid game. But yeah, do you think we should get into the lineups?
Into the lineups. Okay, that's interesting. I mean, we can start from goal. I mean, we know Thibaut is going to be there because, as it said, like their what we call it was a minor blip, so going to be back for the game on Sunday. Rather, sorry. So I think that's set. Like Thibaut should post. For the center back, I don't know. Who do you think?
For the centre back, Nacho is suspended for this game, so except for him, I guess that narrows down our centre backs to Militao and Rudiger. We have no others. When is Alaba going to be back, man? Like, do you know?
I'm not sure.
That's someone we've missed this season, Like, he used to help so much with the ball progression. Right now, we have no one. People don't pass to Rudiger at all. Like, they know how bad of a passer Rudiger is. And That
Should
surprises me. He was a good passer at Chelsea, right? He used to bring out the ball. He used to
yeah,
play
yeah,
those
yeah.
forward
But because
passes.
he was playing in a back three back then. He was
Yeah.
playing in a back three, so like he had a lot of to take the ball out of it.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
man.
Okay. What? Wait, can you repeat that? Like we lost your audio.
Yeah, I said he was playing in the back three back then, so he had a lot of people, to protect that, even if he goes out. So it's normal actually. So
Yeah.
playing in the back three, brings that libero out of him or whatever they call it. But for us, it hasn't been able. We haven't been able to see that just yet. Well, yeah, I mean, it will take Antonio Rudiger a bit of while as well because honestly, like that's shift from a back uh, three to a back two is not easy, honestly. So yeah, this is just a thing, man. Honestly, it's not an easy thing. But then it is what it is, man. What can we say? It's
Yeah. I guess the back line is like pretty much settled, right? Centre backs, we have no options. Our right back, in spite of Carvajal's struggles, even if he played international break, I don't think he's going to get a break. Maybe do you see Lucas Vazquez coming?
nah, man. I don't see Lucas coming in like this. No.
So yeah, with Mendy back, hopefully he is going to need some momentum as well. Since
Exactly. I
we,
mean, we need. I mean, I'm not too high on that. I mean, Mendy, as I've always said, he's the best defensive fullback, but I mean, it's not like he's gonna come and all of a sudden become prime Marcelo again. It's because he's gonna bring that defensive solidity back. But yeah, it is what it is, man. So I can't.
with Mendy,
Well, I
like
mean, the thing is that we yeah. So go on.
we used to have this stat, right? Whenever Mendy was starting, I think in the 37 games that he first started, we only lost like one of them. So
Yeah.
that was said. Do you still think like this defensive prowess is still the same as when he joined?
Exactly, man. So that's the thing, man. So like that what I've always said is like that understanding between Vini and Mendy that they had created last year. Hopefully they can recreate that as well because honestly that's one thing that we've not been able to see a lot. Even when Kamavinga or David Alaba had played that position, there was not that synergy between the two of them. While Mendy is no, as I said, no Marcelo, but he has his credit where it's human. He has some positives as well. So yeah, I mean that continuity that at least would bring about a bit of solidity on the left once again. So let's see how that goes now.
Yeah, I guess that covers the defense for this midfield. Do you see Chamini starting over Kamavinga?
Yeah, man. So I think Kamavinga takes this because I think he's gonna. I think right now the position is this. Let me just put it as that. I think right now the position is like Chouameni has to wrestle that back honestly from him. So I think right now, especially we're playing at home, so we don't need that too much. Of we're playing at home against Vallecano, so I think we don't need that too much of a screen. I would have said start with both of them, Kamavinga and Chouameni, but I think Kamavinga should be able to get the job done considering his.
Of course. And especially like with Tony Cruz staying back, he's going to be having fresh legs. He's probably going to start this
Exactly.
game. But that's not
Exactly.
the case with Modric. Like, who do you see as replacing Modric with? Valverde or Ceballos? Because both of them went for the international matches.
Exactly. I was going to say that both of them went for the international matches, but as we know, like Pedro already is one of the first 3, 4, 5 names on the sheet. Even if the man, even if he's dead, we're gonna bring his tombstone to play, man. So that's the thing. Like, we're gonna just have him, on the pitch. Even his skeleton is gonna come there and play. So I think Fede gets that. But the question now becomes: will Fede play as a midfielder or as a winger? But I want to think because he's at home, so I want to assume that we're gonna cross Kamavinga and Fede Valverde in the middle of the pitch. And I want to assume that up top, I want to think Rodrigo. I don't know, maybe you saw that, but Rodrigo had Pele's 10 shirt in the Brazil games this international break. So I think that motivation and that new sense of responsibility for the Brazilian national team would bring will bring confidence and form to him. Hopefully, and he can transfer that onto the pitch as well on Sunday. So I think Rodrigo should get a start.
Yeah, man, of course. Especially with in a team against like Valladolid. Like Ashik also brings up that point. So we were in support of Mendy starting as left back, right? But he says
Yeah.
Mendy provides a defensive stability. We shouldn't use him against deep block teams since he doesn't provide anything going forward.
I mean, well said, Ashik. Like, I mean, there is nothing to add to that. The question just becomes, okay, who do you play when you play the other teams and who is in the position that you can play? I totally agree with Ashik, 100%. And that's how it should be. But then who do you play then when you have to play teams who has a low block?
Kamavinga, man, we have no left back.
So that's the thing. That's the thing. That's the thing, honestly. Unfortunately. But yeah, man, it is what it is. Like, yeah, but good shot, Ashik. Like, it's a really good point. But I don't know, they're the only ones who about this. I don't know the board and the managers and the people who are being paid to make these decisions what they think. So I guess we will see in the summer. But I want to believe that the club is gonna splash on fullbacks. I want to believe so.
Yeah. Cool. I guess we covered the midfield, or did we miss anyone?
Yep.
Cruz, Kamavinga,
Cruz,
and
Kama, and
Valverde.
Fede.
Yeah.
Yep.
And of course, up top, we said like the only position that could have been a variable was Rodrigo. We said he's going to start. And of course, the other two spots are going to be Vinny and Benz. Like, what's your prediction, Farooq? Like,
Vinicius.
do you think Benz is going to get back into scoring ways in La Liga, like just as a lead up
Yeah,
to
yeah. He is,
UCL?
he is, he is. The thing is that actually, when you look at Benzema scoring in La Liga, actually, it's not bad actually. But the point is that Benzema hasn't always been available this season. This is one of the big problems. I think he has how many goals in how many matches? Like his goal in matches tally is really not bad actually.
I think
Uh,
it's 8 goals for the season.
I think it's more than 8.
Is it? Because at one point I feel like this guy, who was that? Martin Braithwaite had a similar amount of goals as Karim Benzema.
Really?
Yeah, let me
I
just
thought
check
it
that
was
real
like
quick.
11. I thought it was like 11 and 14. I'm not sure. But let's quickly check. Yeah,
So
Benzema has 11
11
goals.
goals.
I
Okay.
think it's yeah. I think 11 goals in 14 matches.
Hmm. Nice. So the player with most goals right now is, of course, Lewandowski with 15 goals.
Yeah.
Wait, Benzema is not even in the top five. So Joselu, Iago Aspas, Borja Iglesias, and Enes Unal from Getafe is there with 13
Yeah,
goals.
Unal has been scoring left and right.
Yeah.
Scoring. But the point is, you can see, like, for these guys, like as I said, like Benzema has 11 in 16 matches, and you can see, like, for example, Lewandowski has 15 in 22, Unal has 13 in 26. So Aspas with 12 in 26 as also, like, when you look at that, like, it's not a bad,
Hmm.
goal ratio, honestly. But then, as I said, the point is that he's just not being available, honestly. So that availability is the key thing, honestly.
Yeah,
Unfortunately.
like this just goes to show how like we don't have a player who's like scoring in the top five. We don't have an assister in the top five. There's only Rodrigo with five assists. He's our like top assister. It just like it doesn't make sense how. But in the last season, we were right up there in the scoring charts, even in the assist charts. Vinny had
In
the
exactly in the
yeah.
assist strat, exactly.
How is this possible? And how do we have the same amount of goals? I just don't understand.
Yeah,
Seriously.
man. I mean, it all goes back to that. Like we can't, literally we can't explain that honestly. Uh,
Yeah.
we go back to the fact that, as I said again and again, like we don't have a set system of play for the players, to flourish and to expect what to see from this people, but rather we just have a set number of individuals who perform, magic week in week out, and uh, that's just it, honestly. So there is there because I remember last year, Benzema was top of La Liga for goal scoring,
Yeah,
and I think he was also like either second for the assist making as well, if I'm not mistaken.
that's
So
correct.
yeah, that's how it was, honestly. So right now, as you said, like I don't know what it is, but you were mentioning like Rodrigo is in the top 5 or something like that.
Rodrigo is ninth. Yeah, that's the thing. Like no Real Madrid player is in the top five for either of those.
So you see, that's
How
that's
are
the
we
thing,
second in
honestly.
the
So
league? Like that's like crazy.
that's why I said to you, like honestly, this year, like the team has been distributed. Like the point is, it's still similar to what's happened last year. But what's
Mm.
happened last year was that it was a Benzema mania. You understand? But right now, due to the absence of Benzema, whether you like it or not, you have to distribute this more. You understand?
Yeah.
Because I'm very sure if you go there, you would see players who have like three, four, five assists here and there. You're gonna find players with 7 goals, 6 goals, 5 goals here and there. You understand? So, which last season more maybe wasn't the case, because everything was through Benzema and Vinicius only. You understand? So, this is the thing, honestly. That's the point I'm trying to make here, actually. But
Yeah,
then,
man. Fair.
it is what it is. Honestly, we just have to, find a way to. We have to find a way to, adapt to these situations, and hopefully, we can make use of it in the UCL again and get some things out of it. Because otherwise, man, it's looking really, really bleak. Really, really bleak.
Yeah, Ashik also says like he's saying we can actually experiment in La Liga right now. So he says, why not try a three center back formation? We just don't have three center backs now for that.
Now we do though. We have Nacho.
Nacho is
What's
suspended
it
for
called?
this game.
Nacho. I know. Oh, I'm just saying like for La Liga in general, not just
Ah,
this game
true, true,
especially.
true.
I mean, we can play with three center backs if we want. So we can. I mean, it's I totally agree with Ashik. Like it's a time for experimenting to see what's working and what's not working. Actually, honestly, so you can see, and also to test out people. Honestly, like I mean, here and there you can just throw in one. I mean, okay, I'm not saying throw in 4 or 5 young players, but you can throw in one youth player and give him a chance and see can he perform or not perform. This is the time to see that, honestly. But obviously, as I said again, we have to make sure that the lead is respectable. Yeah, we know it's 12 points right now, but we don't want to go to 18, 20, 22 points. Gap between
Yeah.
us and the top as well.
That would be humiliation. And it's probably going to let set like a
Exactly.
negative record. Ah,
Exactly. Exactly.
yeah, and fuck, man. I'm not just like looking forward to this La Liga game. We'll just like get an easy win and then like focus on the UCL, like exactly what Dennis and Ashik are saying.
Honestly, like for me, I am honestly because like I mean, I'm not, as I said, like I didn't get to watch the games in the international break, and I wasn't really hyped by those games. So for me, like I'm just looking forward to really like to for the team to be back and to watch. And the point is that midweek we have the what's it called, the Copa game again. I think on Thursday, if I'm not mistaken. Thursday we have the second leg of the Copa. So I mean that's like a I would say a warm up to the to the to one of the finals. Because right now we have 3 finals ahead of us: Barcelona, Chelsea, home and away. So
Mm.
it's a warm up to the first final. So yeah, let's see how it goes.
Yeah, man. Cool. Do you have any other points to add, or should we head right into the predictions and wrap this up?
Oh, I mean we've gone for so long, man. Let's take a shake at Denny's and Scott. Catch some break as well, so they can they've been with us a long. I'm sure they're also starting to get tired. So yeah,
Yeah,
I don't know where they're from and what the time is. So yeah, man. And I know it's also late for you as well. So let's just call it a day, man.
cool. No, but it's been a welcome break for me as well. Like getting back into football. I was just focusing on myself, not watching any football like you.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is gonna be good. Let's hope we see something different from the team this time around.
All right, then I think let's go to the predictions. What do you want to see at the weekend, Jacob?
I want to see a fucking 4-0 victory, man. Let's go.
I don't know. I don't know if you read my mind or something, but that was the number on my mind exactly. But it
Nice.
wasn't a 4-0, it was a 4-1 victory. That was the number exactly on my mind. A 4 goal, but we're gonna concede one to make it a 4-1 victory.
That's cool. That's
Honestly,
cool.
I really want that first, man. Let's score goals, man. Honestly, let's score goals. Really, I really want us to get back into that. We have to do that. Let's score goals, and I want a convincing performance because, as you said, even the Espanyol game wasn't that convincing. Although we won 3-1. Like we want that convincing game, honestly, and like it's Valladolid at the Bernabeu. There is no better there is no better fixture for this. Honestly, it will be a morale booster for the team and the players, and also for us as the fans as well. Because I said it's 2 victories in the last 4 games, man.
Yeah.
We played Barcelona twice, we lost twice. We couldn't defeat Atletico Madrid.
For once in the season, like especially if you decide to bring like Luka Modric on, let's bring him into a nice situation where he can like flaunt his skills,
Exactly,
relax a
exactly,
bit.
exactly, right? Exactly, man, exactly. I really hope we can get some good on that. I hope so, man.
All right. I guess we'll wrap this up. You heard a prediction, folks. Thanks for all those guys in the comments. Ashik, Scott, Dennis, Sunil, Javier. Also, thanks for joining us. And yeah, if you're still here to like the video, that's gonna really help us out with the algorithm and stuff. And if any other viewers are still here, which I don't think so. Like I'm pretty sure it's just Scott and the rest of those guys here, but I'm still gonna say it. Do give us a subscribe. It certainly helps the channel. We are on the road to 1,000 subscribers. Hopefully, we can make it at the end of 2023, at least. And yeah, do check out our socials as well, because yeah, recently Sunit put out a really nice video, a really good shot of him of Fede Valverde in FIFA scoring a goal, and it is a goal. You guys do have to see this. So do head on to Instagram where you can see the content over there. The links are down below. Do check out our friends over at Real Madrid Community. They have an awesome Real Madrid focused content channel over there as well. And yeah, you know what to say, Farouk.
Hala Madrid!
Hala Madrid.